guys, what is going on? Blossom's back, and welcome back to another episode of Top Drives. Now, we are back with the yearly refresher. I make this video at least once a year, maybe twice, on my updated wish list for all of my prize cars, or at least my top 10 prize cars. And usually, you know, between each year of me making this video, I win new prize cars. Well, if I don't win a prize car for a year, that would actually be kind of depressing, not gonna lie. There might be some new prize cars being added into the game as well. Like this time we have JPT prize cars in here that we didn't see the last time. And obviously, like, I would say that with all these different changes, the positions for my wish list will always change from video to video, especially if I make them every year. The only one that stays the same is the prize card that I want in first place. That is always going to be in first place, and it's gonna stay the Camaro ZL1 1LE until I freaking get it, man. It's been since 2019 I've been trying to get that car, but everything else should be different. And we're starting off with 10th place. Right here is the Rimac Nevera. Now, I actually rated every prize card that hasn't been given out yet, and I gave it 2 categories out of 100, and it was brain and it was heart. And for the Rimac, for the brain, I rated it 100 out of 100, which means that, yeah, this is the prize card that you need, you know? Like, brain is like prize cards you need, heart is like prize cards you want. So, yes, this is a prize card that I acknowledge that I need, because it has a 1.90 to 60, 91 handling, and 258 for a top speed. It's a better Bugatti because it has 117 MRI at the same time. The only thing that really weighs it down is the literal weight of this car because of the battery. But, like I said, this is a prize card that I need. Why it's so far low on the list is because this isn't really a prize card that I want. I'm not a huge, like, I'm not Val. I'm not a massive fan of Rimac. I love Croatia, but I love the country more than I love the car, to be honest. So, not much, man. I gave it a heart rating of like 90 out of 100, which is still really high. But when you think about it, some of the other ratings that I gave out of my heart ratings would be like 105, 100, 10,000. That one is the Camaro ZL1 1LE. But, yeah, the Rimac Nevera is, I just know this is a car that I need, and because of that, it's 10th on the list. And that's why it's even on the list in the first place. Now, moving on now to 9th place, we are actually going down to Epic. Luckily I didn't just do this by legendaries. So my first Epic prize card that I want, obviously not the Camaro, because the Camaro will never be 9th place, let's be honest. I want the Hutch, please bring back the Camaro. If you're gonna run my Demon 4 freaking times, at least run the Camaro ZL1 1LE twice so I can have another chance of getting it. But yeah, the other in 9th place, where is it actually? Here it is. The Lotus 211 GT4 Super Sport. I really want this. It's like a 211 but better because it's the GT4 version. It's incredibly light, 750 kgs, 3.5 0 to 60, 92 handling. I think it's basically just a better Mazda Furai. It doesn't have the top speed, but even though a Mazda Furai has a much higher top speed, and doesn't have the MRI. So the Lotus 211 is kind of that twisty car that I really want to get. The main appeal about Epic prize cars is how easy they are to max out. I mean, they're not super easy to max out, but they're way easy to max out, and the chances of me maxing them out is just basically like almost 100% higher than if it was a legendary prize car. So yeah, I really want the Lotus 211. The main reason why it's higher than the Rimac is because although it's not a better car than the Rimac, I can probably get more value out of it because I can max it out a lot easier. So the Lotus 211 GT4 Super Sport is 9th on my list. Hopefully this will make a rerun as well, but when it comes to Epic prize cars, it's tough. It's a tough call, man. Like they usually don't come back, and that's why I usually don't miss on Epic prize cars. The last Epic prize car I missed was Christmas Collection Vauxhall Forenza. Couldn't even pass that challenge, but luckily this Epic prize car isn't one of the good ones. So, you know, I wasn't gonna miss on the Rebel, for example. I wasn't gonna miss on the Rebel or the Punto. The Punto is fantastic. I wasn't gonna miss on the M1 Pro car, for example. So those are some really good ones. But now we move on to 8th place. In 8th place, we're gonna continue on with, you know, the kind of idea that this is a car that I need more than a car that I want, and that is going to be the Peugeot 208 T16 Pikes Peak. Now, in my humble opinion, I do value the Pikes Peak over the Rimac. Some people might disagree with that over you know, on my opinion, but the Peugeot 208 T16 Pikes Peak, I think, is just the car that I can get a lot more value out of, solely because it has a much lower 0 to 60 by 0.3 seconds and much better handling by 6 handling points. The 4-wheel drive is kind of irrelevant irrelevant because it has slick tires and it doesn't have a top speed, but it really doesn't matter to me. It's also a very lightweight car coming in at 875 kgs. This is going to be the car that's going to give me value, because not only is this a car that I can deploy on the twisty circuits, this is a car that you can also give you value on the fast circuit and the quarter mile. Probably not the half mile, definitely not the test bowl, not the 1 mile either, but every other sport, I mean every other track, this is like a Lotus 340R on steroids that are on steroids of steroids, you know what I mean? Like the Peugeot 208 T16 is in a different class, and that's really why I want it, and in my opinion is probably the best Peugeot. If I rank this car higher than I rank the Rimac Nevera, then it makes sense that I'll rank it higher than the Peugeot 905B as well. The 905B is fantastic. I mean, it handles even better, for crying out loud, but the 0 to 60 difference for the same RQ is 1.1 seconds. That is absolutely insanity. I really want to get the 208. Once again though, more of a car that I need more than a car that I want. I have it ranked at for brain score. I gave it 110 out of 100 because, you know, 100 isn't the limit over here. And in terms of like what I want, in terms of heart, I only gave it 85. So none too high about that. But I was really generous in my scores, to be honest. Like 85, and that's for a Peugeot. All right, moving on to 7th place. What am I looking for? 7th place, to be honest with you, is personal. It's the Jaguar XJR9. Really, it has 112 MRA. If you watch my daily best hand for the daily video, I think the Jaguar XJR9 comes up about 5 times in the daily, something like that, 5 or 4 times. Very useful car. The main thing about it is that UK niche is one of the best British cars in the game, if not the best British car in the game. I would say this or the McLaren Senna. It has that 80s niche as well. It's incredibly light. It has amazing MRA coming in at 112. This is just more personal than anything though. I want to win this prize car. I missed it out the first time. I got 11th place. I was super close to getting it. I knew that if I won it, I would have used it over 1,000 million times by now. I didn't max, but I upgraded legendaries to try and get that, but unfortunately at the end of the day, my hand just wasn't strong enough, so I never got it. So this one's a bit personal. I got 11th place, one of the darkest moments in my Top Drives career, so I really want to bounce it back and have another chance at getting the XJR9. Okay, moving on now to 6th place. This has been, every time I've made a prize car wishlist video, this I would say is one of the cars that has always stayed in here, and that is the BMW M8 GTE. I think the first ever prize car wishlist video, I had this in like 2nd place or something like that, so it's still in the list, but it's gone down. In 6th place is the M8 GTE. It's the 2nd highest handling German car, and that's really the only credentials that I can give to the M8 GTE nowadays, because with the introduction of the Apollo Intensa Emozione, that's basically just a better German prize car in every regard. And of course, you know, cat's out the bag, of course, the Volkswagen IDR, and also you can still get some value, I guess, from the Porsche 918. They're better German prize cars, but that being said, this is really when the heart takes into account. You know, this is what I really want to get. I don't really need it, but I really want it. I think it's a beautiful car. I love the meme around it as well, how it's just so much bigger than everything else. 98 handling, it has strong MRA, and 3.0 0 to 60 definitely isn't a bad car. I would love for the M8 GTE to come back. Maybe it'll be next, who knows, but definitely looking forward to the M8 GTE. Now we move on to the top 5. Now top 5, I think, yes, right here, it's the Nissan GT-R Motul Altec R35. In my opinion, probably a slightly better version of the M8 GTE. I know it's slightly lower in RQ, which, you know, points to the obvious. It doesn't have as good of an MRA, but it handles, you know, just a little worse as well, 97, but it's a slightly lower 0 to 60 of 2.9 seconds. Also, it is a very light car, coming in at 1,020 kgs. Definitely looking forward to this. Unlike the M8 GTE, which was the 2nd highest handling German in its country, the GT-R Motul is the highest handling Japanese car in its country. 97 handling, definitely no joke about it. Definitely looking forward to getting this car. Really want it in my garage. The picture could be better, I would say. Picture definitely could be better. The crop could be better. I feel like it's a little bit too low, but it's a prize car that I want nonetheless. Okay, now we move on to the top 4. Now, I would say that every time I've made a prize car video, 3 cars have always stayed the same. The first one was the M8, the second one is the Camaro ZL1 1LE, and the next one is the car coming in 3rd place. Unfortunately, I actually don't know what RQ it is. I do believe it's 91. 88, no, not even close. It is the Audi Sport Quattro S1. Now, I missed this car the first time. I think it was Alfa Romeo Rex. The last time it came out was Italian Renaissance, so it was a very long time ago. But I would love a rerun of the Audi Sport Quattro S1. I love this car in real life. It's one of my favorite Audis, and for those that don't know, know, back in high school, I took an advanced studio art course. And basically at the end of that course, you're given an art show to demonstrate to, you know, your audience, you know, in the school, you know, your peers, your teachers, etc., etc. And my entire exhibition was made up of cars. Obviously, there are a lot of cars in there. There was a Dodge Charger. There was my main piece was actually a Ferrari Berlinetta. So whenever Ferrari gets added to the game, probably not going to be soon. One of my dream Ferraris to unpack would definitely be the F12 Berlinetta. But the Audi Quattro Sport, you know, taking attention away from the Ferrari, the Audi Quattro Sport is also one of those cars that I had in my exhibition. The Audi Quattro, I had a Mercedes 560 SEC in there. I had a German exhibition and the Porsche Turbo Martini, so I had those three. So the Audi Sport Quattro is definitely a car that I definitely want to get. In fact, it was this exact picture that I used as a reference for my art piece for the Audi Quattro. I actually sold it to a friend. I don't know if James, I don't know if you still have it, but I hope you do. I mean, you don't ever watch my video. Oh, you do watch my video. You watched my milk video. I remember that one. But yeah, I really want the Audi Quattro. I really love this car. It handles okay, I would say, not good. Now that we have it used to handle amazingly, but now with the introduction of all these like off-road JPT cars and all these off-road, more particularly European Revolution cars, then yeah, it's not the best handling car in the world anymore. But you know, medium ground clearance, it still has decent handling. Just a car that I really want in general. Four-wheel drive off-road tires, cannot go wrong with that. Now we move on to the top three. I think the Quattro was fourth. I think I said that as third, but I was wrong. That was fourth place. Now we move on to the top three. So in third place, we're going back to another personal car, and that is indeed the SCG. This one has been a pain in my assholes for a very long time, in the words of Borat. Pain in my assholes. Really, man. Every time there's an American event, this is the best car to use. And I'm an American collector, and I don't have it. It's been out twice, so pretty low odds for it to come back a third time. But if the 918 and the Suzuki Pikes-Peak can come back for the third time, the SCG, man, I got faith that it'll come back. Okay, I have faith that it'll come back. I really need this, man. I'm kind of sad that I didn't try harder to get the second time. I think both times this came out, the requirements were just the polar opposites of the strengths in my garage. The first time was French Renaissance. The second time was Italian convertibles. Yeah, now my Italian convertibles collection is incredibly strong. But back then, back in I think 2020 when this had a rerun, it just wasn't there, chief. So hopefully it will come back, because every time there's an American event, this car is always a pain in my assholes every single time. I might have all these maxed out Vipers, but this is just a different car. You know, the handling is just amazing. The 0 to 60 is so low, the top speed is so high, and it has 102 MRA. Absolutely ridiculous. I need the SCG in my life. Now we move on to the top two. Everybody knows what first place is going to be. No surprises over there. So comment down below what you think is going to be second. I mean, it's being wishlisted right now. Is the Koenigsegg Jesko Attack. In my opinion, this is the quintessential European Revolution prize car. Or even the quintessential European Revolution car. You know, I know that the Rimac Nevera is the highest RQ European Revolution car, but since European Revolution was added into top drives, the number one car that everybody was thinking about, at least everything I was thinking about, was the Koenigsegg Jesko Attack. This thing is ridiculous, okay? I want it. It is what you think of when you think of the pinnacle of Koenigsegg. You might think of the Koenigsegg Chimera or even the Koenigsegg Absolute in some cases, but in my humble opinion, the Koenigsegg Jesko Attack is what I want. And I'm pretty sure Hutch knows that this is low-key the best Koenigsegg because they haven't released it yet. They released the Absolute, they released the Chimera, they released the 1.1, but they have yet to release the Jesko Attack. And I think they did that for a reason. This is the last one to come out for a reason. Usually when it comes to prize cars, Hutch releases the best one last, and this is the last one. This thing is ridiculous. I know it will be. 2.50 to 60, 95 handling, and 300 top speed. Not as high as the Jesko Absolute, but definitely more versatile. Now, first, of course, 85 RQ is going to be the one and only Camaro ZL1 1LE. I think for the past 4 or 5 prize car videos I've made, I think 4 because it's been like about 4 years since this was last given out, this has been the #1 prize car I have been trying to chase. It is everything I want and definitely marks the darkest time in my Top Drives career. XJR9 was second, and it doesn't hurt and sting as nearly as much as missing out on the ZL1 1LE. I think I got 11th in this final. No, I think I got 9th. I knew I was 1 place off. I think I was 9th because back then, if you don't know, prize cards only came out to the top 8, not the top 10. So yeah, the Camaro ZL1 1LE, man, it is everything I want. My favorite color is red. I love muscle cars. It is American. It even handles well for a muscle car. 3.50 to 60 and a really high top speed. I need this car in my life. Also, it is an epic, which is really easy to upgrade compared to legendaries. So if you're watching right now and you own the Camaro ZL1 1LE, I just want you to know that I will give you my Bugatti Chiron Sport, my Porsche 918, and my Koenigsegg Nevera for this. This is how much I want the ZL1 1LE. I'll give you all of my RQ100s for this. This is the car that I want the most. And the best thing about it is that it actually has the black badge, you know, the black, you know, Chevrolet cross on it, which is just beautiful. But everything about it, man, is even the picture is beautiful. I might be a bit too zoomed in for some people, but I think it's a beautiful car. I really want this in my life. Maybe the next update will be American and there'll be a better Camaro, but at the end of the day, I want the ZL1 1LE. But anyway, guys, that's going to be it for today. That is my top 10 prize cars of 2022. Half of the year is gone, so we'll see what the other half brings us. But hopefully I'll be able to win one of the 10 prize cars at least from now on until the end of the year. But we'll see. But anyway, I hope you guys have a great day. I'm gonna stay safe, wash your hands, and blossom out. Peace.
Bro, this song just makes me so happy.
Me too.
Imagine being Asian in the 50s, looking nifty, leather jacket, looking sleek, look like Presley, look so deadly. Got a jukebox back at home, feeling jazzy, turn it on and play it slow, like the movies with the ladies.
They so fine.
Imagine being Asian in the 50s, looking nifty, leather jacket, looking sleek, look like Presley, look so deadly. Got a jukebox back at home, feeling jazzy, turn it on and play it slow, like the movies with the ladies.
They so fine.
Sit back, relax in my Bonneville Pontiac. Hold tight all night, cruise to Jacksonville
Atlantic.
Blonde hair, don't care, look like Leslie Brooks. Pin up girls everywhere with the drop dead look. Swing it side to side as we slow dance to the night. When I hold your perfect